All right, guys, in this week's fight analysis, we're gonna be breaking down a sucker punch. First thing is, if you're faced with your attacker, don't let him get this close. And if you do, make sure that your hands are up. They don't have to be in a fighting stand, but at least a natural position where it allows me to defend or attack, where there's less chance of me being caught off guard with my hands down. So bring up your hands. So now they're really in close quarter. You can see, oh, he took his first little step. He took a little step. Why? He's starting to already get into some kind of position. He's starting to look at the distance. Now you look at the victim, he hasn't moved, which makes it easier for me, if I want to sucker punch him, to be able to start working on my range. From there, they're talking. Again, his hands are down, bring him up. Now look, he turned around. Maybe he's looking. Is there witnesses? Maybe he's turning around because he wants to bait him. Like, once I turn and I look here, he might look away, and maybe that's when I'm going to sucker punch him. So always be careful of those little like moves or ways that you might be easily baited into looking or create him some kind of opportunity for him to sucker punch you. Then you look, oh, look, he's going to take a small step. Where's that small step, guys? Took a small step. Again, he's getting into range. Very subtle movements, right? He didn't take a big step. He didn't took a step back because, again, he's starting to work on getting into that range. Now look at the victim. He still hasn't moved. From there, did you guys see that? He did a little pace. Now he paced. Why? Because he's getting ready. Now most sucker punch will come in from the right, but he went left and right. And look at that. 1, 2. That's it. Look, complete knocked out. Why? It's always a shot you don't see coming that's going to hurt the most. It's always a shot you don't see coming that's going to knock you out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go in a more detailed breakdown on how to defend from a sucker punch. The guy's talking, he's angling off. First cue number 1, why did he take a step back? You already know if he's a righty or a lefty, depending on what he takes back. If his left leg goes back, you know he's a lefty. If his right leg moves right, he's a righty. It's only normal. His dominant leg and his body will shift to where he's stronger. The second thing you'd see is the guy kind of looking around, pacing, looking at him, getting into his range prior to the attack. And then, boom, the sucker punch comes out. Now, textbook guys, I've seen this so many times. Most of the time, the guy standing there has no clue of all these steps prior to the sucker punch and ends up getting nailed. So if I'm faced with my attacker, and I've talked about this in prior videos, look at the point of contacts. The feet, first, look at the hands. Is he holding a weapon? The feet, the distance, where is he blading? Where is his head leaning? Now, how do I defend against a sucker punch? Step 1, most basic thing. It's also going to be a great indicator if the person wants to sucker punch you. Costa, go slow. If you wanted to sucker punch me, where would you be? From where would you be if you wanted to sucker? Can you sucker punch me from here? Well, like, can you hit me? You could hit me from there.
I could hit you with
boom.
This. Or
yeah.
I can even do
boom, this. Okay? But generally speaking, guy's not going to sucker punch with this, right? He could, boom. But most of the time it's with the rear hand, the power hand, right? He can grab you with this and then sucker punch with this, right? Very rare is the guy gonna go boom. That's more of a smart fighter who knows what they're doing. Most people don't know how to fight in the street, guys. You'd be surprised, right? And even sometimes I've seen so-called good fighters, and when shit hit the fan, it went all over the place. All their techniques, because of the stress, the adrenaline, the rage, the anger, they just lose their shit, and then everything starts going anywhere. So if I'm here and he wants to sucker punch me, go Costa, boom, go back. If I did this, right, I'm at a range. One step, take a step back. Just here, I'm talking to him. Now, if he wants to sucker punch me, what would he do?
Well, I move forward.
He moves forward. Or he would have to do a big swing, which would be like, whoa, telegraphic for me. More than enough time to block it, right? So if I'm faced with my attacker and I take a step back, now if he takes a step in, you know you have a fight in your hands and he wants to hit you. He wants to sucker punch you. So always start with that. Take a step back, create a little bit of range as you're talking to him. The second thing is, Bring up your hands. What's quicker? His hands going up or my hands, him going to my face or me going straight to a line of fire straight to his face? That's why I'm keeping my hands up. I can palm strike, I can eye gouge, I can hammer fist, I can strike the throat, all from a natural position. Right? So I'm keeping my hands up here to cover my center line and block anything that comes around. So I could take a step back and angle off to create distance, right? And if he took a step in, he's talking to me, like you're talking, move back, Costa. Yeah. So if he's here and I'm doing this, put the leg, so here he could sucker punch me. I take a step back, he takes a step in, I move again. Now I know I have a fight in my hands, right? Now, how do you block a sucker punch? As hard as it is, it's counterintuitive. I prefer you moving in than moving back. If he throws his punch and I do this, right? And he does this and he throws another one and another one and another one. Eventually one is gonna nail. So how do I stop that? The best offense is a strong defense. Make him go defensive as quickly as possible. So come over here, Costa, so they can see better. So if I'm here and my hands are here, right? They should always be here. Cover my angles, and instead of me just blocking, go over, instead of me just blocking, I'm stepping in, which means I'm doing boom, this. I'm crashing. I'm using the blade of my forearms and I'm going in here. And as every block is a strike. I'm not just, go slow, Costa, I'm not just doing this. I'm not just doing this. When he's striking, I'm going boom. I'm crashing with the blade of my forearms. I'm striking into the neck. I'm using here. Come over here. I want to make sure to keep that hand away from my face. Maybe he had a knife. Maybe he's holding anything. I want to make sure that I'm not doing, go Costa, I'm not doing this. Now, this is not bad. I'm going to use this if for whatever reason my hands were down, I was caught off guard, boom, and I didn't have enough time to step in. That's the only time I'm going to use that. If the attack came so fast, maybe my awareness down, maybe my hands were down, my awareness was down, or maybe I didn't see it at all. I went boom, and I did this, and not enough time. Right? Because obviously the last thing you want to do is take the punch to the head. However, it's a lot safer for me to step in, lower my center of gravity, use the blade of my forearms, and then come here. Once I'm here, what do I have? I can headbutt, I can elbow, I could knee, I can control the head, the back of the neck, whether I'm grabbing the back of the neck or I'm grabbing his hoodie, right? The idea is I'm striking, boom, boom, boom. Here, try to establish chest to back as quickly as possible, right? Because a sucker punch, now, someone just tell me, well, you never see a sucker punch coming. Yeah, if your awareness is down, you won't see it coming. The idea of a sucker punch is the guy's not telling you, hey, I'm gonna punch you in the face. The guy's talking to you face to face and he throws it. Now, you could get sucker punched with multiple attackers, you could get sucker punched in a whole bunch of different ways. But this is the most important part in terms of when you're face to face with the attacker. A sucker punch means I'm not going to tell you, hey, by the way, I'm going to punch you in the face. The guy's talking to you, he's trying to lower your guard, he's looking around, he's angling off, he's kind of pacing, and then bam, he launches his attack. What you need to be ready for at that moment and trained not to move back. This is why I'm slightly leaning forward with my head, and I'm slightly leaning about 60-40, because I'm ready to attack forward and crash. I'm ready to attack him, close the distance and finish it in close. Because again, if I do this and then I might move back, he starts throwing punches. Now I gotta find a way to close that distance. There's only so many punches I'm gonna be able to parry and move. At some point, I need to come in and attack him as quickly as possible. Also, in most cases, I would probably say 90% of the cases, the attacker who's about to sucker punch is not expecting you to attack him. Is not expecting you to react the way you're reacting. He's expecting you to get knocked out or you to move back. So this is where the element of surprise comes in. This is where, if I'm reading his body language, if I've trained my awareness, if I've trained how to set it up with verbal, and I'm ready to attack, this is when I surprise him and I go preemptive and counter his attack and go in attack mode as quickly as possible. You want to switch that predator-prey, because once you're in there, I want to make sure I'm attacking him as fast as possible to not give him not even a second of momentum to be able to attack me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. We have our whole striking course, our tornado course. I'll put the link in the comment box. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.